Astro World.
Okay.
We back again for another talk show. Peoples, welcome Astro World to the Astro World Talk Show, aka Hardwood and Astro Turf podcast. Peoples, thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you guys had a great week. It was a good week of basketball. If you were following the Orlando Magic, that's going to be our big topic today in discussion. But as always, before we get into anything, we always gotta do a check-in. I hope you guys out there watching the stream doing well. Put a comment in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. But because you could hear us and I could hear Rayvon, I can ask Rayvon how he doing. Brother, how has it been, man? How was the week?
Not too bad, Until you had a nice little belly full with a sweet bread and a Morby.
Yeah,
I know you're missing them things. I know you're missing
for
them
sure.
things, but not too bad, man. How you doing, Hans?
Doing good, man. Was a long week.
Yeah, long day.
Looking like a longer week again this week for me. So, just managing,
Yeah,
trying to
man.
figure it all out. But other than that,
As everybody,
it's good.
doing,
It's
trying to
true.
figure it all out, boy.
It is true. That's the real life, innit?
hmm But you got a team that seem to figure out some things.
It's true.
Orlando
I
Magic.
mean, it might not be magic anymore, boy. It might just
Exactly.
be.
It's a science.
But got
It's
to
a
be.
science. It gotta be a formula to be consistent. Right now on a 7 game win streak, winning 8 of the last 10 games.
I might argue that they're on an 8 game win streak because who they got to play next?
Oh,
Might as
they
well
might be on
join
a
the towel.
correct. I think they played them twice this week actually. So a
What?
definite 9 game win streak ain't coming. So they play them tomorrow and then uh sometime later in the week. And if you want to know who we're talking about the what you consider to be the worst team in the league, the Washington Wizards.
The Wizards, a team that don't look to have any structure whatsoever. Team that just look horrible, look like a bunch of players that come from all over the place.
And
Decide them
just
to put on the same color looking same style of jersey and go out there and play some
they
basketball.
put some
It's
random people from the
grinding.
street
Yep. It's like,
everywhere.
yo, you up to play today or what? And then be like, yeah, I coming through. What time you gonna get here? Yo, I can be 5 minutes late. I can be 5 minutes late, but yeah, count me in.
Yeah, man.
That's what
But
it seems like right now.
yeah, the Magic doing something special. This is like we talked about it last week. A team similar with a similar blueprint to this team, a very young team. Kind of exceeding expectations beyond where anyone would have seen them coming into the year. So
Yeah.
it's really exciting to see those types of teams kind of finding a way early in the season because it's something that we don't typically see on a yearly basis in the NBA. There's always a few teams that you could say, all right, pretty sure this team is going to be good. Probably can get
Mhm.
up pretty good to start. But
Yeah.
I like how the standings are. There's quite a bit of shake up in the standings, and such is typical for the early season. But these shakeups feel a little bit different from like maybe like the Jazz last year. The
Right.
Jazz came out hot last year, for example, and then they fell off. And at the time when the Jazz were hot, I was saying like, yeah, they're hot, but I ain't really seeing anything about their gameplay that is really like standing out for me to say, all right, this is something that could be consistent. But
Right.
the well, yeah, we can mention the Thunder from last week. The Thunder and the Magic, two young teams that have been showing some signs of possible consistency to keep up this pace that they've been at to start the season.
Yeah.
For the Magic specifically, right now they're doing it on the defensive end. In a big time where they got a lot of big guys. Number 3 in the defensive rating on the season, and Jalen Suggs is a dog. He's an animal. I don't
Yup.
know,
Playing hard.
hard. He's one man. Like one of the people that I could see would always, come out in the game and leave it all out there is Russell Westbrook. And right now, his energy is reminding me of a young Russell Westbrook, just giving it
Yeah.
his all every single possession in the game. Well, on defense, I don't know offense too, but Westbrook might take a little time off on defense. But
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs on both ends of the court just going all out, full speed. I didn't know if you saw the play with him, pretty much defending Jokic to some extent. One of the guys picked him up, and he was able to hit the ball to Jokic and while he was trying to go for like a post up on one of his teammates, and he was just on the ground pumped. And he and Jokic kind of got into a little tussle
Yeah, little
here
scuffle.
and there, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just fun to see his energy, and it's not the first time he's done it this season. I think he's really feeling the team, and the team is feeding off of his energy, and going out there and getting some big wins uh,
Yeah.
to start the season.
84 game playoff for Suggs. That's what it seems like to me.
Man, that is the energy that you want from. If every coach could design a player, they'd probably have sprinkled like 89% of what Jalen Suggs gives you in terms of energy on a nightly basis. So
Yeah.
that's an unmatched quality, and I know it would push him really really far in the future.
B- But let's look at the teams that they beat, though. It's not like these are walkover teams.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing.
Pacers, well, we could skip Bulls.
Yeah,
That's where it started.
yeah, they have a
Um,
pretty mixed schedule, but yeah, they
yeah.
beat the
But
Bulls.
Pacers is a team that offense is out the roof right now,
Hmm.
and
And
they
they put a
manage.
smacking on them. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they manage to hold them off really well.
Yeah, I think they probably
Um,
scored the lowest points they had on the season against the Magic, the Pacers. That is, I think they beat them. They beat them pretty solid though, and they beat them by double digits too. It was
yeah,
like the tables were flipped to
12
some extent.
points.
Yeah.
Correct. But like you said, Pacers don't got much defense, but
Hmm.
Magic do. And Magic could also show up offensively as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think that that's what worked for them in that
Hmm.
game. Then we know obviously Raptors um is an okay team. Like
Hmm.
they're not super horrible, but like I've said before, like this team could be up and down, and you never know what you're gonna get on a night with Raptors anyway. So
Correct.
that's not much of a surprise. But then you get to the Nuggets and you get to Celtics,
Yeah,
two
Celtics.
teams that like to speak to this team's defense, right? They held Celtics under 100 points. And
Yep.
this is not something that is easy given the offensive power that Celtics got right now and that they've shown so far for the season. So, hey, kudos to this team, man. All the players coming out, Black playing hard, Suggs,
Hmm.
like you mentioned before, Banquero also doing the job. Like all the guys, all the role players doing what they're supposed to do and is paying dividends. So I guess we just gotta wait to see.
I mean, really and truly, not that you're saying that all the guys coming out. Looking at this team, I can't say, yo, they have a specific player that's playing at a superstar level or anything like that. Most of the teams
Right.
at the top of the league, you can find one or two players that would be considered in the top 10 category of players in the game today, or top 20 at least. And
Yeah.
this Magic team is winning games and just winning the games by committee, really and truly. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner leading the way to some extent. They're not even
Yeah.
averaging 20 on the season, 20 points a game. So
Mm-hmm.
it is consistency from starting five all the way down to bench players that's really propelling this team. And not to mention the fact that they have two key players out early in the season, Markel Fultz sidelined with an injury. Wendell Carter
Yeah.
got an injury early in the season, and he's been sidelined for a while now too. So they're doing this with not even all their best players healthy, and one
Mm-hmm.
player coming back from injury, Jonathan Isaac, who felt like he's been OCD for the past 4 years, finally healthy and looks like an absolute terror on defense. I saw him guarding LeBron the other day. Not many people could really guard LeBron. You can only slow him down that much. I mean, he's a little bit older
Right.
now, but Jonathan Isaac was doing a hell of a job when they played the Lakers the other day. They split that series so far, um, 1-1. But I that game specifically, I saw him, looking like the player that people would have had expect him to be. He came into the league with that defensive mindset, defensive prowess,
Yeah.
and he didn't really get to showcase it long enough. As soon as he was really like finding his groove, he got injured and was out for a long time. And it's great to see that he could come back and show that talent is still there. And
Yeah. Pick up where you left off
yeah,
almost.
yeah, this team has a lot of promising uh pieces to stick with and to go ahead into the future.
Their last loss was against the Brooklyn Nets, one of my favorite
Eh,
teams for the season. And they got Wizards back to back before they play the Nets again. No, it will be interesting to see if the Nets will be able to break the streak, or if Magic is going to add them to the list as well.
well, we can see. I don't know when the next game coming up, but uh, they're on a roll right now. So I went back. Oh, actually, they're playing on December 2nd. So
Yes, December
on
2nd.
Saturday, we could get to see
Mhm.
that
For
pretty much
sure.
immediately.
For
So,
sure.
and they got Boston twice in the next 2 weeks or so. So
That's
they
going to
don't
be
really have
tough.
a super difficult schedule, but this they have a week coming up. They already got Boston the 15th of December, Boston again the 17th of December, then Miami the 20th, then Milwaukee the 21st, then the Pacers the 23rd. So that's really going to
Yeah,
be a telling stretch for this team, much like we talked about the talent stretch for the Thunder this week is coming up with the Wolves and some other big teams that they have to face. So
correct.
we'll see what these teams are really made of. But the Thunder this week and the Magic in the next couple of weeks, and really see if it's something that's really sustainable, and
Hmm.
could see if they could keep the spot that they have right now.
Agreed. Can't wait for it, man. It seems like it's going to be a little exciting schedule,
Yeah.
especially the back to back with the Celtics, because Celtics is going to want revenge for the
Mm-hmm.
first game, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be two best of three basically
Yeah.
for this short stint between these two teams. So
Correct.
really looking forward to see Magic come out on top. To be honest, because that would make it so exciting.
It already is, man. It already is.
Yep. Um, Speaking of exciting,
Mm-hmm.
this in season tournament, we've talked about it time and time again, bringing a lot of interest into the league at an early stage, and it hasn't disappointed so far. Like they've been very well. I will say some teams are disappointed because teams that we thought would be at the top at this stage are really struggling,
Nowhere to
going
be found.
500, going two for two, going 1 for 3, 0 for 4, like some crazy things happening in this tournament. But you got to shout out to the two teams thus far that has swept their group:
Yep.
LA
Shout out to the
Lakers
Lakers.
and Indiana Pacers.
Yep. And I didn't we didn't get to watch the last. Well, I didn't get to watch the last game that the Pacers played, but
Yeah,
we talked about it last week. The Pacers versus the Hawks
the
game last
Hawks. It,
Tuesday.
it was a tight game.
That was so much action. That's
Yup.
probably I think it was like the third, somewhere in the top five of the highest scoring games in NBA history. So if you missed that one,
Bro.
you missed out on a good one. But we knew they
Over
were going to go ahead
300
and
points, bro. Like that
yeah, that's
was some
crazy.
mad offensive play.
Hmm. And then we knew they were going to take care of business and against Detroit in their next game, and they did so. So uh,
Yup.
them like the Lakers 4-0 and locked up that final spot for the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament. So we have some scenarios. So Tuesday is going to be the last in-season tournament group play day. So
Yup.
after this Tuesday is going to go straight into the quarterfinals. So there's some scenarios, there's some teams that are on the brink of clinching, but they need other things to go right for them, and other teams to lose, other teams to win, etc., etc. Take care of some
Yes,
competition.
sir.
They need to win their own games.
This is looking
Uh,
fun too.
so there is a lot still at stake on Tuesday. So I think we're going to have a lot of heat uh, coming up with the games for Tuesday,
Hmm.
and let's see how it's all going to shake out. So the NBA put out an article that pretty much sums up who's at risk, who's has a chance to gain and get the clinch the playoff spot. Well, not playoff, sorry, the in season tournament
Yeah,
quarterfinal
quarterfinal
spot.
spot.
And So we could just go through it a little bit and
Yeah,
see who has the most to lose and who has the most to gain. So just
let's
pull it
do
up
it.
on the screen. Let's go. I know off the bat, our first, our first, um, our
I
first
can.
game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I
Oh,
was stuck a little
what's-
bit.
yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, we
Mhm.
good.
Our first prediction for next week is the Wolves versus the OKC Thunder. Outside of it being an in-season tournament game, that's going to be a good matchup in terms of number one and number two in the West. So I guess when we
For
get into
sure.
the predictions, we can address it there, or we can address it when we see it here in the matchup. Um,
Hmm.
so just diving right into the NBA article, East Group B, we have the Charlotte Hornets at the New York Knicks, and here's a few scenarios here that they have that could change how the outcome comes out. Uh, so we got the Charlotte has the possibility to clinch the wild card spot, and for those who don't know, the wild card spot
For
is
real?
basically,
The Hornets?
yeah. Apparently, we can see how it works. So, but the wild
I
card
guess if
spot is
everything else
basically,
goes bad for the other teams, then.
yeah. We seeing a lot of stuff here that gonna happen for them to get to get it, but
Yeah.
basically the wild card spot, if you didn't know, is a spot. So let me just break down the format for it again. So in each group, there's three groups in each conference, and at the end of the group play, the team that wins the most games automatically goes through to the quarterfinals, right? But in each conference, there's one team that is selected for a wild card, and it's the team with the second best record throughout the conference, throughout the group phases. Um, I don't know if I explained that the best. You can let me know if you understand it in the chat. We could try to revisit it again and go through it. But Charlotte has a possibility to get a wild card spot, and it's dependent on a bit. They have to win their game. The Cavs have to lose their game. The Heat have to lose their game. The Celtics have to lose their game.
Nah, that's too
And the
far.
Nets.
That's too
I
much of
think
a
that's a
stretch.
stretch. I think that's a
Yeah.
stretch. New York has the opportunity to clinch the group if they win their game, the Bucks lose their game, and the Knicks win the tiebreaker over both Miami and the Bucks. So the
Which
tiebreaker,
mean that but which means that he has to beat Bucks.
yeah, pretty much. And they can't beat the Bucks by too bad because then the Knicks might lose the tiebreaker. And right now,
Right.
how the tiebreakers are working, we're doing point differential in the NBA. So this is the first thing for the in-season tournament on a whole. But I guess if you watch football and stuff like that, goal difference and stuff like that
Yeah.
usually plays a role into determining some of the things that might get tight. So the
Mhm.
same thing is being applied here, but with the points that team has either won by or lost by. Um, and then the last scenario is the New York clinches the wild card spot with a whole bunch of other stuff. We probably ain't go through all this, but right now the easiest thing, all you gotta do in New York is win the game and you
Yeah.
get the spot.
Win and then pray.
Yeah, win and pray. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So um,
Same with for Hornets. Well, Hornets gotta work some magic. I don't know how
I don't know
Hornets
what they
can
can
do it,
do,
but
but right now the Bucks is really the more comfortable team in this East Group B. They won three of their games. If they win this game against Miami on Tuesday, that just wraps up their spot really and truly.
and
Um,
they'll be the third team to go for it. Oh,
yeah, third team to go 4-0. So Bucks just gotta take care of business, and we won't go go through all these scenarios.
exactly.
Uh,
Might as well say Bucks do it. Bucks beat Heat, and
yeah,
yes.
yeah. I put my money on the Bucks to do it. I think from our predictions, I might have Bucks as my wild card. I can't remember. I think I had the Heat coming out of this group, so
Yes, you did.
maybe I don't know. Who knows? Anything
Hey,
could
it
go.
was a tough call at the time.
Yeah, it was tough.
I
Um,
mean, people choose Nuggets, and look who at the top.
mhm.
So
All of us did choose Nuggets. So
yeah,
right now, at the top of that group, I guess we could just jump to that group if we could find it. West Group B.
Yeah,
Nuggets pretty much eliminated. Yeah, Nuggets
pretty
eliminated.
much.
Yeah, they played all their games. They won two, lost two. The Pelicans are actually
Clippers
right now in
eliminated,
prime position. Yeah. Well,
and Mavericks has a chance to get up to position 2 because these are the last two teams that have to play Rockets and Mavericks. And
yeah,
if
but
Mavericks win, then they probably might jump Nuggets and Rockets on points.
it might. So yeah, there's a big game on Tuesday with the Rockets versus the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think as big as I might be saying it because I think there will be better teams with a better record in second place after this result. Because
For sure.
if the Rockets win, I still feel like there might be a team with a better record than 3-1 and might have a better point differential as well. So that's going to be an interesting one to see. But who
Yeah,
knows? The
because
Rockets,
Suns has a point differential of 34 already.
as
So
like that's crazy.
yeah,
Uh,
so West
So
West Group B pretty much wrapped up, to be
yeah,
honest.
I would give it to the Pelicans. I'm pretty sure the Pelicans is going to get through. And as you say, the
Yeah,
Suns
unless Maverick pulls
have a crazy
some.
point differential and look prime to be the wild card coming out to the West right now. Really and truly. Um,
Yup.
let's
Because
go
all the
through.
other point differentials are
Mhm.
pretty well. Thunder could probably
Right, I was
challenge the
about to get
Suns because
right. I was about
go
to
ahead.
get there to that one. I was going to skip to that group, and see what. Let's see what the NBA has on that specific group. That is West Group C. So
Mhm.
West Group C, you got some scenarios here for the Timberwolves, and there's some scenarios. Well, no, actually, Oklahoma City has been eliminated, so they don't have a chance. Actually,
They
the
don't.
only two teams that have a chance to shake up things is the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves. Actually, yeah,
I don't understand why OKC doesn't have a chance when we have Suns that's 3-1.
I
Oh,
think the
because they
OKC are
lost
one and
two.
two. Yeah, they already lost two.
Yeah, they already
So,
lost two. Okay, never mind. Yeah, they're gone. Suns gonna be that team basically.
but I mean,
Well,
the Timberwolves could be the wild card as well,
oh, that's
or
tough.
the I don't know. It depends. They will have to beat the
Ah,
Thunder so bad,
but that
so
ain't
so bad.
happening. I know that ain't happening
But
over one
we don't
game.
know.
I know. I put in that down right now.
We don't know. Let me see what's the point differential for the Timberwolves. Let's see.
-3, bruv.
Oh, that's tough. So you got to overcome the minus, and then
You gotta beat them
yeah,
by
you can't get 34.
37
Yeah,
points.
yeah, that's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
that's
highly
that's
unlikely.
mad. Like if they pull that off, man, I don't know. I
But
can do
but
100
but
push-ups every day for 1 week.
but the Golden State Warriors though could could beat the Kings, reduce their point differential, and make room for the Timberwolves to come up in that space. Already Warriors could actually even overtake all this and end up with the spot too, depending on how bad they beat the Kings if they do beat them. So much in playing West Group. See right now, like
So much
so
probability.
so let's see what they let me see what they have. So they might make it a little bit more, you know,
Concise
proficient. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
straightforward.
That we are saying it. So
Yeah.
Minnesota clinches Group C if Minnesota wins, Sacramento loses, and then Minnesota wins the tiebreaker over Sacramento and Golden State, which is tough. That part is tough.
Right.
The tiebreaker is going to be hard. And
Yeah.
then
A three-way tiebreaker. That's crazy.
exactly, Minnesota clinches the wild card if they win and finishes second in the group and wins tiebreaker over a second place team from other group, which we know is not happening because the Suns tiebreaker is astronomical.
Yeah. They gotta beat OKC like real bad.
Yeah,
Just as we
and we
mentioned
don't see
before.
that happening.
Correct.
Golden State clinches Group C if one. Golden State wins and Minnesota loses.
Mhm.
That is crazy. And the second option is if they win and they win the tiebreaker over Sacramento, which is the one I was explaining, over Sacramento and Minnesota.
Right.
So right now, it, the ball is in Golden State hands. To be honest, they are the team that are most critical to the deciding this group, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, of course, Timberwolves have to win, but damn, yeah, the Golden State got it in this, and this is going to be tough. These are the games that we got to lock into. So Golden
for
State
sure.
at Sacramento and OKC
Tomorrow
at
night.
Wolves tomorrow. You want to make the prediction though? OKC at Wolves?
Sure.
Yes, let's do
I
it.
I got Timberwolves to win, but I also don't got Timberwolves to win by 37 points. So with that, I would give them, let's say, a 10 point, which will put them at a 7 points differential above Warriors.
Mhm.
And yeah, I will leave my prediction. I will leave my prediction at that. I don't think they're gonna beat OKC by more than 15 points, but I see a 10. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I give it a most 10. I think it's going to be a very fun game, very closely contested, and
Yeah.
both teams are going to come out, trying to fire.
If I go off, oh my god, then
I mean,
I got eat
if
my
I go out,
words.
I don't even think it might be a case where somebody on the OKC team might go off. I don't think even if Ant goes
Nah,
off, I don't think the score is going to be so big of a difference.
hey,
So
we'll wait for that fourth quarter.
yeah, and I think the OKC might not be looking at it as it relates to in season tournament. Neither team might be because it's just like a battle of the two best teams in the West, because at the end of
That's
the day,
true.
that comes first and foremost. But I
You
got
mean
Wolves
you mean position in the West or
in
in
the
season
West,
tournament?
position in the West. At the end of the day, you want to maintain the seeding that you at. You want to continue on the winning streak. Continue
Hmm.
your um, positioning in the standings. So
Right.
I think that's what it's going to be. More like I don't want to say bragging rights. Not that the in season tournament isn't important, but maybe it's just the way that I'm looking at it right now. It's like, yo, these are two best teams. Forget in season tournament. These are two best teams in the West. So it
Yeah,
should
but
be a
these
fun
but
game.
but these players gonna be playing for in season tournament position first and foremost. I
Well,
mean,
in
when
season
you
tournament money.
look at it, it's gonna be the same thing, right?
Hmm.
Like either way, the game is an important game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
in both scenarios. So
Um, is there any more interesting scenarios? I think we didn't. There was one group that we didn't
yeah,
cover from the.
there's East with the
Wait, there's one more
Celtics.
team. Yeah, one more group.
Let's see.
Right, with the Celtics, Magic, and Nets.
And
That
Nets,
group.
yes.
Right now, the Magic are on top of that group after beating
Mhm.
Boston last week, so they put themselves in a
Right.
good spot. But the Celtics have to pay the Bulls, and
Yep.
the Bulls will probably give Celtics a bunch of points. So,
Well,
Orlando Magic should be
I,
scared.
I'm not sure about that because
Hmm.
when Bulls played Magic, both teams were under 100 points. So I I think
I don't
Bulls
mean nothing. The
defense
Bulls,
might.
uh, nope. I think the Celtics play the Bulls already. To be honest, for the season, and I watched them. So
Yeah, well, they got Watson again in order
they will
to
got they will got beat them
take the
by
spot.
23. Yeah, they will have to win by 23.
But that's doable though.
Hey, I know, very so. So I'd be scared if it's a Magic. If it's a Magic fan, I would be scared,
Well,
shivering.
not really, because they could come out as the second best team in the conference.
Could
I don't think, yeah, because I don't think there's any other team that has as much point differential as they
yeah,
do, and
but
they already
the
finished.
Knicks got to play the Hornets, and if they beat the Hornets just by like 5, they become the second best team.
Ooh, I didn't
And the
even see
Cavs got paid still. So
but
if
if
the
Julius
Cavs,
Randle playing though, that is still skeptical.
everything is skeptical when Julius Randle playing. So that's just a skeptical player at the end of the day. So you
Hornets might
decide
come
if you
out
want to put your
firing. You
faith
never
in
know.
Julius Randle. But
Hornets might
now,
come out
oh,
swinging, boy.
on
Yeah.
that note, the Mellow Ball injured yet again. It's so sad when he was
Oh,
just getting in the groove and
jeez.
balling out to his mind.
Well, you had to
Another
hurt
ankle
my heart,
injury.
man.
Another one. I don't know how he's feeling, to be honest. I don't know how Hayes would be feeling at this point. So
All right, that's tough.
Prayers up for
That's
Lamelo. Hopefully that
yeah,
is nothing
Nets.
that keeps him out too long, but it looked bad.
Ooh, Nets might nick this one from Magic Boy.
It's
If
possible.
Celtics beat Bulls by
Hmm.
the required amount. Let me put it
Hmm.
that way.
Hmm.
Because if not, then Nets going through, and Celtics and everybody else will have to stay home.
Well, that is the insert season tournament for you. So a lot in
But
the air
Nets, so
still.
wait, Nets,
Mhm.
Nets, buddy, do Nets,
Do net.
do
Oh well,
Nets.
yeah. If the
We
Nets will have to
can
beat the
transition,
Raptors by 14 to take the spot, 15 to take the spot. So
and
they're in the same boat as the Celtics. They was here, but they got 8 point cushion. I don't know. The Raptors kind of are hot and cold. They might end up turning up and win this game. It's a
boy,
tricky opponent in
stop,
my opinion.
stop,
What do you
stop,
mean?
stop.
The Raptors
Raptors
quite.
never show.
That's not so.
Raptors
You can see
never
that.
show.
That's one of the most
Raptors not showing
inconsistent
up,
teams out
boy.
there. 1 minute they could beat a good team, and then the next minute they will lose to a bad team.
And this is the next minute that they will lose to Nets.
Until
Telling
you
you,
can say it, just gonna tell you it's gonna say the Nets is a
telling
bad
you.
team.
No, 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 no.
But
I'm
hey,
pretty sure that I chose my words
I just
properly
saying like
there. Just
you can't really predict what the Raptors can do. You can't really predict how they can show it or perform. So it's very likely
hey,
that they might come on and beat the Nets, but it's also very likely that they might come on and lose pretty bad too. So it's difficult to tell for this specific game.
I choose the latter. I got Nets to surprise everybody. This is the tournament dark horse, Brooklyn Nets. Let's get it.
All right,
But yeah,
I
at
think that's pretty
least
much.
there are only few teams that have a realistic chance, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Hmm. Yeah, most.
But yeah, this will make for some good basketball tomorrow night.
Hmm.
I need like how many screens I need for tomorrow night? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 8 screens for tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
boy. It's going to be a tough task trying to get all these games, but ESPN never fails you. You just watch the squares move. A little bit arcade, but
Yeah,
that's what it's got to do it sometimes to stay abreast. Um,
I definitely watching this next game.
it should be fun, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so changing gears, switching gears.
Yes, sir. Let's do
So
it.
the Formula One season came to an end this weekend. And I don't know what
I
sort
hear
of fashion to
disappointment
call
in
it.
your voice.
I will call it a, a historic but disappointing season. All last year we was talking
That's
about,
fair.
oh, we wish that we hoping to see some competition coming in after Red Bull just waxed all the other cars, all the other constructors for the whole season last year, and to come and do it again, almost twice as bad, almost twice as bad.
Yep.
Uh, they look even more dominant. They look even further away from the part that they were last year. I don't even know.
I would say so. I would say so.
I guess the start of the season gave us some hope with Aston Martin, and
Yeah.
you know, not Stroll and Alonso putting in
Not
some
not
work.
natural.
Right,
Alonso.
but he was doing okay. He was doing
I
solid.
mean, Lance probably have
He was
one
in
or
the top.
two decent races.
I'm sure he was in the top 8 at least twice in the first 3 races.
We
I'm
could
pretty sure
argue the
that could be
same for the
that
entire
is.
season for Sergio Perez too, but hey, I can let you have that one.
But we should even have to argue with that. Sergio Perez should be in top 2 with a car like that. But
Yeah,
nonetheless,
that's true. Yes,
nonetheless,
nonetheless.
we had optimism coming into the season that some things would have changed early in the season. It looked like it was going that way, and then in short succession, it just went back to the same old script from last year. Max on the podium holding the trophy, race after race after race.
Hmm.
So
Bro,
we don't want
yeah.
skip over this whole season, but what should we look forward to into the next F1 season, Hans? I'm really curious to hear what you gotta say. about this specifically?
Well,
Because I don't know.
I think we should tune in. And the reason I think we should tune in is because the race in Brazil against McLaren and Red Bull tells me that McLaren on the right track
Mm,
to closing the gap between themselves and Red Bull. 8 second race win means that McLaren was only off by what, a hundredth? I think they said it was, or a time, something like that for the entire race per lap. That means that every single lap, if it had to start from scratch, Max and Lando Norris will pass the line like this.
mhm, pretty much. And that
That
might be
to
too
me is,
slow. What you just do might be too slow.
but that's the thing. In a race, all those times add up, right? But when you look at it from, let's say, a 1 lap pace, they're pretty close still, right? Max has been out qualified a couple of times this year. It's just that the teams didn't have the race pace. And this is something that I learned over this season, that race pace and qualifying pace is something totally different. How the car
Mhm.
reacts over
Exactly.
a longer time frame, like around more cars, and just being able to take care of the tires a little bit better based on the
Yeah.
car design and all that kind of, like, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes in a Formula One race that people don't really understand until they
Mhm,
really get into it. And
mhm,
that was what was most interesting. So I'm interested to see what the teams would do given they had a full season to kind of learn how their design would affect the tire life and everything inside the race, and how much they would have fallen off. So Ferrari just need to fix that on their end, to
Well,
be
I was just
honest.
going to say the best example of contrast between qualifying and the actual race has to be Ferrari, because race after race they're on the top of the leaderboard in qualifying, coming out with great position, and then just falling behind pretty early in the races too sometimes,
Rather
so
quick.
easily. So easily.
Hmm.
Like,
Yep. And
Ferrari
then
has to be the best example. Mhm.
Yep, and then you have teams like Red Bull, obviously, who like might start 15th in one race and end up first within 15 laps. Like, that's crazy. I
Correct.
think he did that in the previous season, but
Hmm.
that just speaks to the difference between race pace and qualifying pace. And they've said it. They've said that they've designed their car for the races, not so much so for qualifying. But at the same time, if you got a good race car, you got a good qualifying car.
Exactly,
And
full stop.
I think what I think that the main reason Red Bull was so dominant this season, people might say that they have a dominant car, but just to play devil's advocate a little bit, we've seen what Perez did for the season, right? Could it be just Max though? Could it be?
People didn't want to hear that.
But understand that Perez was behind a lot of these cars that were in the midst, a lot of these constructors that were in the midst, behind Aston Martin, that he lost in Brazil at the end. Um, Lando Norris beat him, Oscar Piastri beat him, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton,
Mhm.
Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. All these guys beat him multiple times in the season, right? Could it be just that Red Bull has a great combination with a good race car and a superb F1 driver? I think that that combination is the reason why Red Bull was so successful this season. Not saying that any other driver couldn't probably pull off what Max had done in a similar situation, but this definitely is the most dominant that we've seen any constructor in the history of F1, arguably, because even though Lewis and Mercedes were dominant for 7 years,
Mhm.
Lewis didn't break the records that Max broke.
Exactly. That's crazy. Like,
Like, this is,
there's a
yes,
different
Lewis
type of
has broken
dominance.
records, but
Yeah.
this is like a season domination, a
Mhm.
season record breaking. Like we were discussing earlier, he got 10 consecutive wins in the season, up from Miami up until um, Italy at Monza. And then they just had this whammy of a race in Singapore, which was really interesting because I was excited that, not that I don't like Max winning, it's just that I don't like Max winning easy all the time. Right?
Exactly.
So he did that 10 consecutive races. And then at the end of the season, it was 7 consecutive races. Like, that's crazy to me. Imagine
Mhm.
if Singapore was business as usual. That is 17 races in a row that Max would have won.
18.
And
It would have been 18
18?
because 10
No,
and 7.
I think I messed it up. I
Mhm.
think it would have been, yeah, anyways. Forget the math right now.
A lot of races in a row that
Yes,
he would have
a
won.
lot.
Double
And I,
past 10, almost 20.
bro, it was insane. Perez only won 2 races for the season. At the
Mhm.
beginning, it was looking prospect, and then Sainz obviously won in Singapore. And then all the rest is Max, and second and third position is everybody else. Everybody else just swapping places, which I think was the more exciting part
Yeah,
of
this
the
season, yeah.
season.
Mhm.
But hey, kudos to Max and Rebel.
I mean, you gotta give it props because at the end of the day, it takes a lot of consistency, a lot of focus to be able to do what he did. Uh,
Yep.
as you mentioned a little bit earlier, a prime example of what could have been is Sergio Perez. He has a great car, but just not performing as well as he should be. I know. I remember we talked about it last year, heading into the
Mhm.
season. We were saying, well, if the teams don't dominate, if the teams don't get up to speed with the Red Bull, at least we'll be able to see Perez and Max going at it because you
That
know
was the hope.
that was the hope. That would have been the
Yeah.
only the biggest excitement coming out of this season, and we rarely
Yeah.
got it if we even got it at all. From
We got it
Perez
for like
up
the
to
first few
few,
races, like
yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
5 races up to Miami. Yeah. And then Max just like, all right, yeah, see you
it's
later,
time to
buddy.
go. Yeah.
And then Perez just had a massive slump off after Miami, like really struggled throughout the season. So um I was really looking forward to it. I was actually rooting for Perez because I wanted finally that like those first 4 races, I was like, yes, we got a battle on our hands for the
Hmm.
entire season. We didn't get it, unfortunately. So that kind of begs the question, kind of using that phrase in the wrong context here, but what does Perez have to do though to in 2024, which is his last contractual season with Red Bull as a driver for now, um, to secure his spot in Red Bull for 2025
I
and
don't know,
beyond?
boy. I don't know. I was telling you off the stream like this man still look like in trouble. I mean, it might be a little bit premature with that, but
Hmm.
geez, like you see him Max having so much, like I guess as team principal, you see him Max having so much success. Max is an excellent driver. You keep that in mind, but still, like, you
Hmm.
offer the opportunity here to to really take that domination on a level, another level, and you just dropping the ball every single time. Uh, as it relates to
Really
what he
sporadic.
has to do, I I, I don't know. I really don't know. He just got lock in. He just got lock in and be consistent. Be
He got to win the
consistent.
championship if you ask
Yeah.
me.
You mean for MVP? Jeez. So that means you automatically think he gone next year then, because
Bro, because like the first question you posed
Mhm,
said, like, what should we expect for the season? I
mhm.
expect Ferrari to fix their time management issues. I expect McLaren to really come on strong and continue from what they've come from this season. Mind you, they only this season in 2023 only started midway,
Yeah, for
and
them. Mhm,
yeah, and from there you could already see the progress that they've
mhm.
made. Had a few outliers closer to the end of the season, but they were there. In
Yeah.
Brazil, they were there. In Austin, Texas, they were there. In Britain, they were there. In for the British Grand Prix. Like, so
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to that. I want Ferrari to fix the issue and Mercedes is definitely going to come back strong. Don't think that Mercedes is sleeping. Um, Mercedes going to come back strong, and I think even the midfield teams are going to push even closer. But I don't think that they'll be as close. But hey, I leave room for surprises. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Well,
I
we love
leave
to
room
see it
for
at this
surprise.
point.
Hey, I want to see people battle mats like 2021 and before. I want to
Mhm.
see that, right? I want to see team like drivers coming to the season and just go at it back and forth, like destroy tires trying to fight. I gotta do 3 pit stops instead of two. Like we want to see action in
Yeah.
2024. So yeah, for me, Perez gotta win the championship in 2024. That means he gotta be super consistent and he gotta be fast. And that's
Mhm.
tough because
Yeah.
that's outperforming Max
Yeah.
in a Red
Pretty
Bull.
much. Pretty
and
much.
and that's
That
tough to
seems
do.
pretty unlikely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems pretty
Plus,
unlikely. So
plus two if you're struggling beating other teams
yeah,
that
I just gonna say like
don't have.
don't have the same cars, yo. Like, come on, man. Come on. You know what? I remember we mentioned it before our last week on the stream. This him getting beat on the lane by Charles, and
Yep.
then who it was who it was he beat before it was Alonso.
Alonso in Brazil.
like,
Yep. by
like
by
dog,
what, like 100th of a second or something like that.
come on, man. Like those things, I know those the guys
That,
back in the
that had to hurt though.
yeah, like
Remind me of when Valtteri Bottas beat Ocon on the line for points. I think it
mhm,
was back in 2021, I believe.
mhm.
When Bottas was still at Mercedes, like those losses have to hurt because there's nothing you can do. Your foot flat out, and ain't no way to stop it. It
Right.
coming either way. But yeah, he
Yeah,
struggled. I hope for him and for the season on a whole that he gets better, he gets more consistent, and that we can see a better fight between the pairing at Red Bull.
I
That's just
agree.
my hope.
And that just brings more excitement to the sport on a whole. Um, as I see it, that
Sure.
2021 season was unbelievable. Probably one of the best F1 seasons. But
Yep.
bittersweet in the sense that Lewis should be an 8-time world champion,
Yep.
um,
Arguably so.
but it was exciting. Pacific season brought a lot of attention to F1. And I
Yeah.
mean, also a lot of other factors like the whole Drive to Survive show and
Mhm.
stuff like that bring some more attention. But this domination from Max kind of sucking the excitement and the life out of the sport to some extent.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's not
Especially
like
for casual fans.
yeah, for casual fans specifically, I
Yeah.
would consider myself pretty casual to some extent. And it just
Mhm.
like in some cases, I don't even know if it even really makes sense. Like trying to actually sit down and watch the race
To
because
watch. Yeah.
it's
That's
just
true.
like you can go and see Max got 20 something second lead on the second place person. Like, come on, come on,
Yeah.
man.
But
That
hey,
is no
man,
fun.
you gotta give props to a solid team, a
Mhm,
team that has the best driver in the world, the best car, arguably for the season, and a whole pit crew that has delivered time in and time out.
mhm,
I don't think there was a race that Max didn't finish, and that's what's incredible about his season too, and that's why he
mhm.
was able to lead 1,000 laps
Yeah,
over the entire season, which is mad.
that's
That's
insanity.
that's just next
Yeah,
level.
yeah. History
Um,
buts, boy. History buts. Totally rewritten
hey,
after this season.
meant to be, meant
Mhm,
to be. So big congrats to Red Bull. Like that team is super solid when it comes to reliability and very impressive. So who do you think should get the seat if Perez doesn't perform? I mean, this is looking 2 years from now, but
yeah.
who do you think should be the next person?
Well, we was talking about it the other day. I was gaffing and saying, I take you to Hans. Let's see if Hans can come back on. You on? You live? I miss you there for a sec.
Yeah,
Okay.
this. my internet kind of laggy a little bit.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
I was asking who do you think should get the seat
Yeah.
like who do you think deserve it? I guess.
Oh, we was just going with a low wild card team putting out there, calling for some Zen action in the crank.
Yeah.
But that's not lately.
I
That's
like
not
it.
lately. But
I
well,
like
who
it.
knows? Maybe next 2 years he might have conquered F2 and maybe get C. Who knows? Um,
Hmm.
but in a more realistic light, um, I know Ricardo would like to be back there in that spot.
Yeah.
But I I don't know if they would do that again, really and truly. Um, I guess who else would be candidates? Who don't have a seat
Um,
right now that was in it recently?
Liam Lawson was driving for AlphaTauri while Daniel Ricciardo was out, and he's also a Red Bull junior driver
Yeah,
slash test driver or whatever.
I don't know much
Um,
about him to say.
well, what I can say is that he performed really well,
Mhm,
and he was really consistent and showed some quickness at some points
mhm,
in the season as well that he got to race. So I think he would be a good candidate.
mhm.
Um,
Got anybody else in F2 that looks promising to you that could probably be in the comment?
but this also depends on what Rebel wants to
Yeah,
bring to
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
table. Like,
Exactly. Is
does
either
Rebel want
yeah,
experience or
exactly,
does
or they
Rebel
want a new.
want
Yeah, correct.
like a
It's
new
difficult.
firecracker to
Yeah,
challenge Mats?
yeah,
I think they should go for the latter, to be honest,
yeah. I
because
agree.
Mats was that firecracker that challenged Ricardo and
Exactly.
in some sense pushed him out of that Rebel seat.
Hmm,
In
hmm,
some sense, might
hmm.
not be entirely that way, but I
Yeah, I
want to see
thinking.
Mats be challenged.
Yeah, when they thinking about it, I thinking young, somebody new, somebody fresh. Um, I mean, as you say, it depends on where they want to go. If they want to maintain the dominance that they're having, they probably put a more experienced driver in the car, more than
Yeah.
lately, and that might be the way that they go.
Hmm.
Just to sort of rack up some numbers in terms of the history. But again,
Yeah.
but for me as a fan, I would probably like to see somebody younger and come in there and give Max a little bit of a run, even though they might be a rookie or whatever the case may be. I don't know who the
Yeah.
top rookies are or would be coming in to coming in the next 2 years, but somebody that's probably in F2 or F3 come up that has a strong showing probably will get a nod from Red Bull if they're that
Yeah.
good, you know?
For sure. If that's what they want, but if they're going for experience, I personally
Hmm.
believe Alex Albon, one of my favorite drivers,
Oh,
should be given a second chance at Red
aye.
Bull. I mean, yes, his first running with Red Bull was disappointing, but
Hmm.
we see with Williams that he's quick, he's consistent. He hasn't been out qualified for the entire season
Hmm.
from his teammates. So hey, doing big things at a team that probably isn't up to par when we consider the Red Bull standard, but a driver that has shown consistency and speed. So
Correct.
I think he should get another chance, especially if they give Ricardo another chance. Especially. So hey,
Ah.
we don't know. But we will see.
Mhm. A quick
So
one for you.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
guess before you kind of wrap it here, there's the
Yeah.
Mercedes fans everywhere. I don't know what going into the season. I guess what are your thoughts on their finish or their entire season to some extent, if you could sum it up in a couple of words, and their outlook for next season. Because you know how it is, the Lewis fans, the Mercedes fans in numbers, especially where you're from. So, what's your
um
thoughts?
um I think they started the season a little bit lackluster based on where they were in 2021. Like they did admit they got the design totally wrong. They tried to do something revolutionary and went
Damn.
backwards.
Mhm.
These things do happen when you're trying to test out something new. Um, but I think they were able to pull it back throughout the season gradually as the season came to an end, and I I think as a team, they might be in the right direction because they've made some progress towards the front.
Mhm.
And in terms of drivers, I think Lewis got a bigger challenge on his hands in George Russell as a
Yeah,
teammate because
yeah,
George
for
Russell's
sure.
been quick as hell.
Yeah,
Like he's been so fast. And
yeah,
yes, Lewis has been complaining about um seat position in the car and that kind of stuff. But hey, you got to do the job at the end of the day. And
yeah.
if George is faster than you right now, I mean, they're tied in the qualifying battle as
Mhm,
teammates, so that's good. Lewis still finished ahead of George, so you can never count out Lewis. Like
mhm,
he's a goat right now.
mhm, mhm.
If you want to put that title on him, but George is fast, and
Yeah,
if Mercedes figures it out, George is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Matt's got
that.
to watch out for George.
Mhm.
So these four drivers, I don't want to count out anybody else. Don't get me wrong. Matt's, George, Charles, Lando Norris.
Mhm.
These drivers from these four different teams, firecrackers if the teams
Yeah,
get a good car on their hands. So
yeah.
that's why I'm so excited for 2024, and
Mhm.
I'm hoping that the teams could deliver a vehicle that is evenly matched to the extent that like we're gonna see some crazy fights. I want to
Correct.
see a four-way title battle next year. That's how
Yeah.
crazy I want it to be. So
Ah,
yeah, man, looking forward to that. But I just wanna just spell out the success that Matt's had this
mhm.
season. Um, like we mentioned before, 1,000 laps led in one season. First driver to do it. Yes, we have longer seasons
Yeah,
this time around, but the
but he's still coming.
domination has
Yeah.
shown like
Mhm.
is crazy. He had 19 wins for this season. That's the most in any season. Again, there's the caveat, but we don't
Yeah,
care. That's the
yeah,
record right
that's
now.
just a lot.
Um, 10 back-to-back wins and almost did he pretty much almost did a double 10 if you ask
Mhm.
me. But yeah, 10 back-to-back wins, stopped by Carlos Sainz in Singapore, and then he continued to win the rest of the season. And then the highest points total in a single season, which is 575, considering that he has a teammate that is a good driver. We can't take that from Perez, but was unable to deliver on a consistent basis. Ended up with a win margin of 290 points,
That's
which, by the way, if you look at it, this is going to be crazy, guys. I want to pull this up really quick. I think this is more points than Perez. He won by more points than
that
Perez
Perez
actually
scored.
finished with.
That's crazy.
That is mad. That is actually well. Perez got 285.
Mm.
Max won by 290 points, and Sergio Perez was the second driver. That just goes to show you how well the season was.
Mhm.
So and just so you know, George finished eighth in the constructors, and Lewis finished third. So even though George has shown some quickness
Yes,
throughout,
yeah.
like he
Louis
was
still at
still
the
down
yeah,
on points.
yeah,
But hey, Piastri, you know, coming in ninth,
yeah,
Lando really bringing
exactly.
it back
Yeah.
to finishing sixth position. Crazy, crazy, crazy behind Max. But yeah, Max is a I don't know, man. Like,
I'm up on a
yeah,
different level right now. That's all it
yeah,
is.
yep.
Different level.
so so yeah, hoping for some great action next year.
Yeah. And we gotta try to be more locked in from the start of the season with some F1 coverage for the F1 fans
Hey,
out there.
less than 100 days.
Yep.
Looking at
So
March. So
we can be back at it just now again with some F1 races and some preseason stuff, etc. etc. So if you're F1
for
fan and
sure.
into the sport, subscribe to the channel. We are going to be delivering some F1 analysis and breakdowns for you guys when the season starts again. So
Definitely. Definitely.
Also, if you're here, no, don't forget to smash the like button. It helps a ton. As we always say, we know all the YouTube heads talk about it all the time. It really, really does help. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That is
Mhm.
also another big help because we're trying to keep growing. And if you're trying to see this content on a consistent basis, we need the support of the viewers. So again, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bells to know when we go live, and stay tuned on our socials, Astro Bros on Instagram, primarily to get all the updates, all the graphics and stuff with all of our predictions, etc.,
Or the
etc.
post. Get involved with the
Correct.
predictions too, peoples. We
Yeah,
want to see how you would do. Want to see what your analysis looking like. You know,
yeah. Oh, don't we
join
talk
the
about
fun.
predictions? We got two more. We got two more predictions to predict for this week on the marquee matchups for the NBA season, and then that's a wrap. Um, so Pacers at Heat on Thursday. Who you got? Pacers at Heat on Thursday.
Pacers.
I game Pacers too. Accolade. Um, I just like watching our team right now. That's the funny reason. It might not be so logical because the Heat
Right.
was playing. Actually, Heat playing kind of bad over the last couple of games. But
The
Pacers
Heat kind of like the Raptors. You
in a bit,
just
in
just
a
never
way,
really know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Nuggets at Suns on Friday, which I think should be a hot game. Uh, I know KD's out now. I don't know if he's going to be back by Friday. I hope so. Yeah, these guys,
Uh,
Michael's a glass at this point. But
bro.
KD had to be carrying the load when Booker and B was out for most of the time. So this was happening. I get
If
Nuggets for this
Beal
one
and
though.
yeah, bro, I was saying if Beal and Durant gone, like that's a lot of offense that them lost already. Um,
But Devin Booker hit a buzzer beating three against the Knicks last night. So he may be able to carry our team to
when I say
victory.
it's Nets, people's your boy right saying
I mean, he was short-handed. I would pick the Knicks over the Suns when it's only Devin Booker on the team. What are you? What are you? Okay, all right.
bro,
Well, that
bro,
says it.
but Julius Randle playing, you really do.
I know ain't nobody a
There's
bigger hater
no
than
way
Julius
I would
Randle
pick
than
Nets
me.
over. There's no way I would pick Nets over
But
Nuggets.
I seen so many games they overcome his struggles on one game. So I figured this might just be another one because who else is going to perform on the Suns outside of Devin Booker? But Devin Booker pretty much carried the load because Julius Randle was trash. I know he's like that, like 50 to 60% of the time. So I get it, but
I go with Nuggets, and if I lose, I lose.
yeah, I go on Nuggets for sure. So
Yo,
we got all
the
got the same
whole
thing this week. Um,
tuning
we
this
had
week.
just an update on the points totals. Let me pull it up.
You
Who
don't
should I miss
surprise
it?
me now.
Yeah, actually, when I did it, when I updated the sheet with it, I was like, whoa, this is closer than I even thought. So right now,
Man, tight on points.
Hans leading the way with 8, followed by myself with 7 points, and Hans on the right on my tail as well with 6. So 8, 7,
Gee,
6
boy,
right
it's
now.
time to
1 point difference
pull off a
between everybody.
stretch. Yep.
So I mean, we can
I
end back up
think
with the same result because we
I
all
think
got the
there is
same
one way
picks.
that we could kind of create a gap. We gotta get some Laker predictions in there,
Lakers.
and yeah, we gotta get some Laker predictions in there,
Mhm.
and put Hakim on the back foot a little bit,
Aye.
so we can
You
create
know
some
that he going Lakers
separation. You
all the
know,
way. Put 2 or 3
exactly.
Lakers games in there. You know you get some extra. You get some points that he don't get.
Yep. As long as it's not games like Lakers versus Pistons or
Lakers
Hornets,
versus
or
Wizards.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you could create some separation.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the stream, guys. Anything else you want
That's
to add? Han?
it. That's all we need to add. We got you another episode of the Hardwood and AstroTurf Talk Show, aka Astro Bros Life.
Mhm.
Thanks for coming out, peoples. Thanks for showing your face. Really appreciate the support. So continue to support the brothers, and we will see you next week. Take care. Peace.
Peace.